Hello everybody, this is the guy that you guys know as TenTillDeath, and in this video there is going to be a ton of editing, so you might want to watch what we put on screen for this video. This video is the second part of why I've decided to leave the Goth community / the alternative subculture community. And in the last video we talked about several things like hypocrisy, the community not being able to make up their mind about what beliefs the community holds. What are the views anymore? What are the actual views of the Goth subculture anymore? One moment I'm seeing one Goth content creator saying that anybody and everybody can be Goth regardless of political views. And this time we are going to be talking about something big. In this video we are going to be talking about the final reason why I've decided to leave the Goth / alternative subculture. And it comes down to the fact, if the community just does not like you, like the people in the community do not like you, the community will go out of their way to make false allegations against you. They'll spread rumors and just false crap about you to try to, push you out of the community. And it's sad. It's sad because you have this community that's supposed to be accepting of, the minorities, accepting of the little man in the world. I'm talking about, the minorities, the people that aren't represented in the majority, stuff like that, right? Here they are being bullies, making false accusations and allegations towards people they don't like, that are also a part of the community. We'll take All Time Low. All Time Low is a pop punk band from the 2000s. A few years ago, they were falsely accused of grooming minors or, having entanglements with minors. All Time Low ended up suing these people that made these false allegations. These people came up with false allegations as a smear campaign to ruin All Time Low. Well, look at the second case. The lead singer of the band Aiden from the 2000s, known as William Control. William Control is a very controversial man. No doubt he has done some bad things. Allegations about rape and him sleeping with minors. William Control ended up proving a lot of these allegations wrong.
I'm just very highly sexed, and even more so because of recent events. I'm not getting my usual daily orgasm outlet. You've made my need for sex and for BDSM that much greater, and as a result, I'm finding my total lack of sex life even more difficult than I've done for the last however many years. I mean, this shit is utterly endless.
I did participate in the downfall of his life. Yeah, I fucked up. I made a mistake and I said some things that weren't true.
Now, this person isn't really part of the alternative community. They were a big name YouTuber that was accused of being a pedophile and a child groomer. Dream, also known as Dream SMP, was falsely accused of being a pedophile and a child groomer a few years ago. Dream was a faceless YouTuber, and when Dream finally did a face reveal, the entire internet bullied this man, calling him ugly. And if you ask me, I think he looks decent, right? I think he looks decent. That was really where it began, where the internet tried to cancel him. They tried to cancel him because they thought he was ugly, and then false allegations started surfacing against him of him being a pedophile and a child groomer. And it turned out that those allegations were false.
Someone tweeted out this, accusing me of sexting a 16/17-year-old girl named Jamie. When they posted this allegation, attached was a video that, of course, went viral. It was a video from another phone of a Snapchat being opened, supposedly from Dream, that had moaning in the background and a very sexual caption. This is the clip in its entirety without audio. They also attached screenshots of Discord DMs between anonymous people who were claimed to be two friends of Dream's and said it was them discussing me having sexted a minor. In these screenshots, they say that I was confronted about it and that I admitted it. I've shown you every piece of evidence they posted without changes, and I've mentioned everything that they've claimed. So who is this accusation from? It's from an anonymous burner account made the day of the accusation, which is interesting. So we don't know who they are, but we do know who the victim is. Jamie, right? And how old did they say she was? They said 16/17. Okay. So what else do we know about Jamie? They said she left the internet in 2020. So because they apparently can't, let me tell you who Jamie is. I follow Jamie on Twitter, which people quickly pointed to as proof. As you can see, Jamie is also followed by Skeppy, Verb, and Spifey, other YouTubers from the community. I met Jamie when I wasn't even a YouTuber. I had just posted my first ever YouTube video less than a month before. I had less than 100 followers on Twitter the month that I met her. I made a lot of friends around this time because I wasn't a big creator and I was part of a lot of online communities as a fan. She played on Bad Boy Halo's Minecraft server and was a fan of Skeppy. I was trying to grow and make connections, and I had pretty much just made my Twitter account, so I made a lot of friends. Many people from this time I'm still friends with to this day. People claiming that me following her is proof that I sexed underage fans or groomed her at all is ridiculous. These claims are completely false. They were right about her age. She's 21 now, so she would have been around 17 4 years ago. That's about the only correct thing they said this entire time. Like, remember they said she quit the internet in 2020 as a convenient way to excuse any questions about her? Well, she didn't. She liked a tweet from last month, actively tweeted all of 2022, and she changed her bio and Twitter account name when this happened, just wanting to be left alone? That's interesting. And she actually tweeted saying she only privated her account because some of her IRL friends were finding it and she didn't want them to. I wonder why they lied about that. They also said they posted the videos with permission, which of course makes the videos seem much more real. Well, it's apparently me and I didn't give them permission, and it's apparently sent to Jamie and she didn't give them permission. She quit the internet. She couldn't have. They even critiqued Moist Critical for his video, saying how terrible it was, claiming that I admitted that the Snapchats were real, which I never did. In their original tweet, they notably say when she had her age in her bio, which seems oddly specific, just to remove the few people that would say, well, what if he didn't know her age? When even in their own proof, which is random Discord messages with no context or who the messages even are, in another part of their screenshot, anonymous person number 2 says this, but for some reason that's cropped out of their tweets because they don't even know what the screenshots they're using as evidence say. They don't care about the truth. They're just making things up as they go.
Some of you guys may know the band known as The Cure. There was a person not too long ago on TikTok, I believe known as Milka, that came out and claimed that Robert Smith, the lead vocalist of The Cure, was a pedophile and had a pedophile interaction with them back in the 80s.
So goths online everywhere are currently losing their collective shit over the news, allegations really, that Robert Smith may have had an extremely inappropriate and intimate relationship with a teenage girl in the 1980s. The fact of the matter is that Robert Smith is a boomer male who came of age during a time when, you know, rock stars boned down on teenagers all the time. It was awful, but I don't think they would have seen it in the same light that we're seeing it now.
And guess what? These allegations turned out false.
If you're seeing this, you're most likely familiar with the grooming allegations against Robert Smith by Milka Sklar. This part in particular is debunking how Milka met Robert in 1984. Please correct me if I get any information wrong. Milka claims that they and their best friend Patty met The Cure in 1984 at a radio station. They said that they were 14. However, here on a Pinterest comment last year says that they met when they were 15 at a K-Rock radio station. This could have been a typing mistake, but not likely, because there are numerous other times in the story where they mix up the age or year. Since Milka is a musician, I managed to find information about Milka outside of their social media. It says here that they were born in 1970, meaning that the age and dates do match. We'll come back to this later. There is no evidence of The Cure being featured in any interview in the Southern California area in the year 1984, let alone in the K-Rock station. However, there is one on October 10th, 1985, meaning that Milka would have to be 15, not 14, unless their birthday was super late. What's stranger, however, is that The Cure was also performing a show that same day. This is a recreation of what the set list might have been like. The band then allegedly arrived late and drunk. Robert then said, "Oh good, you made it," as if he was expecting them. Now, if they happened to get the year wrong in the recent TikTok, and it really was 1985 like the radio logs say, then when would Robert have time to get drunk and have an encounter with the two teens if the band had a concert promotion and a show later that same day? Now, Milka said that their parents weren't paying attention, and so they decided to sneak out to see The Cure. They said that they were not longtime fans of the band and that they were not famous. It was just a whim and they liked the walk. Now, there can be two interpretations of this statement. They could be talking about either the physical walk or the song. The K-Rock radio station that they were being interviewed at was in Pasadena. The address listed on Milka's 1987 postcard, which they claimed to receive from Robert, was apparently in Van Nuys. That's a 7-hour walk. If they arrived by car, it would be a 38-minute drive. These are two teenagers that are sneaking out of the house without their parents knowing. 14, 15, so too young to have a permit. Come back for part 2. Now, remember that Milka and their best friend Patty are still out and about without their parents knowing. Briefly after meeting Robert and his band, Milka claims that they drove to the Chateau Marmont, which is a very fancy hotel in Hollywood. But then they decided they need to go home. Robert then offers to take them to Disneyland the next day. Now, Milka never said that any time had passed since Robert announced the band's interview, so we can assume that Milka waited until the band finished, since they can't just go home, right? They snuck out. The total journey from the radio station in Pasadena to the Chateau Marmont and back home in Van Nuys is 30 miles and an hour of driving. And then they seriously expect us to believe that they did the same thing the next day to get to the Franklin Hotel. Moving on, at some point in time, Milka never says when, they go to Disneyland with Robert shortly after. Later on, they accuse Robert of giving them booze and drugs. This became a habit of Robert, picking them up and calling cabs home every single time the band came to LA, which implies that Robert only took the two teens to Disneyland for the sole purpose of grooming them. There is no evidence of them there, let alone with Robert, specifically from the years 1984 to 1985. But they were there in July 1986, with some of these pictures taken by Milka themselves, listed here as Danielle. However, some of these pictures were also taken by Howard Thompson, a guest who was invited to go with them, who also was connected with the music industry. Howard explains why they were there in this blog written in 2008. He said, "Relations improved, their success helped a lot, and they invited me to accompany some of the band and their friends to Disneyland after a show in LA once, and later I asked Robert to write out the lyrics to one of his songs. He chose Let's Go to Bed, and right below there's the lyrics." The Cure played 3 shows in Southern California from July 23rd to July 25th, and the closest one to Disneyland was this one, July 24th in Irvine, and right here is the complete set list. Also, it wasn't just Milka. As seen in this picture, there were a multitude of other fans who went. Most likely, the band just went to Disneyland to simply relax after the show. Wouldn't Howard and the other fans, both outsiders, who have never seen Milka in their life, have noticed something suspicious between Robert and this teenager, let alone the thousands of tourists and employees who are most likely specially instructed to handle such situations? And their parents just never noticed?
40 years later, someone coming out with these allegations, which it's not the first time we've heard about people coming out with allegations years later. There's nothing wrong with speaking up about something, that's gone on years prior. There's nothing wrong with speaking out about that, right? But it was very odd how this one user came out and claimed that 40 years earlier, Robert Smith of The Cure had a pedophile interaction with them and wrote songs about them. Here's another alternative person that was accused of being a pedophile. 6 rarely human, as some people call them barely human. They were also falsely accused of being a pedophile for somebody they defended.
Gonna be the only time I'm addressing these things. So the first thing I'm gonna be talking about is how people think I'm 30, which I don't understand. Here's my ID. You can see I'm 22. People are saying that I pinned and liked this comment when it says pinned and liked by author, and you can clearly see it was posted by Brittany. I also want to say that I never defended Brittany, and I don't defend Brittany because what she did is obviously wrong, and I blocked her a while ago. Last thing I'm going to be talking about is this video that recently went viral. And if you've seen this video or any video like it, you would know that they're not providing any evidence or proof of this happening because it didn't fucking happen, because they're literally lying. And I think it's pretty disgusting that people are spreading this around.
Just think about this. An all-loving community turns their back on their own people and just falsely accuses them of pedophilia just because they don't like the artist, just because they don't like the band or something, right? They want to push you out by making false allegations against you. I am also a victim of these false fucking pedophilia allegations.
TenTillDeath is messaging minors
and grooming minors.
Mine is on the app.
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love the sue.
What song?
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love the sue.
What song?
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love the sue.
What song?
Yeah, that song.
Mentions of essay, mentions of grape. Thinks his own nut milk, yeah.
Your predatory face.
So let me explain.
He should not be so close as playing video games on live streams with minors and having full-on conversations with them. That's just weird.
I do live streams on my YouTube channel where we talk with viewers and we play Roblox with viewers. Oh! Oh! And sometimes I do music collabs with some of my viewers. Some people have accused me of being a pedophile because I'm playing video games with my viewers on stream. These people in these Roblox servers that you're playing with, they're minors. I never even thought of it like that. I just thought, hey man, these people want a gaming buddy. Let's all play video games together. When I was a kid, I had grown adults that were my gaming buddies and, you know, PlayStation Network servers. But we kept it at that as just a gaming pal for when, you know, I'm online. I was literally a preteen when I was playing Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z Online, and I had a grown man who was my gaming buddy online, and we kept it at that. He understood it was just, you know, a gaming partner relationship. There's literally ads out there, grown adults on Fiverr making listings saying that, you know, they'll be your gaming buddy for your child, right? TenTillDeath, you're a pedophile because you play with these kids on live stream. If that makes me a pedophile, what does it make this bigger name Roblox YouTuber, which I'm going to show on screen, who has 2 million subscribers and she plays with her subscribers?
Do it? Hello? Hello?
I have said it before. My audience is not kids. My audience has never been kids. Now, are there a few kids that might try to watch my content? Yes. There are kids that will always try to watch content they're not supposed to. But according to my YouTube analytics here, the majority of my audience are grown adults. And it's not my responsibility to try to freaking, you know, parent these kids who try to watch my content. That's the responsibility of their parent. Of course, you know, there's bound to be some little kids that play Roblox with us. And like I said, we just kept it at that. I never tried to, you know, force these kids to drop their address. When we played Roblox together, we all just got together as a small little community and played Roblox together, man. A lot of creators and a lot of live streamers do that. That doesn't make someone a pedophile just for playing Roblox with them. But they were minors. This make this Roblox YouTuber with 2 million subscribers a pedophile? No. They're just playing a video game with other people. Anytime you join a Roblox server, there's bound to be adults in the server. There's bound to be kids in the server. I'm not going out of the way joining these servers on Roblox asking people if they're kids or not, dude. I'm just playing fucking video games with other people online, and it's just that simple. Unfortunately, people conflate that.
Full-on conversations with them, that's just weird. I don't care if you're a small band or not, that's literally weird.
Out of context, that sounds bad. But you gotta understand, I'm a live streamer. I respond to the comments people are leaving in the chat. That's what you do as a live streamer. I'm not going out of my way asking everybody's age in the chat, right? There's people that join our chat and I don't even know their fucking age. Some of them might be kids, some of them might be fucking adults, right? I'm not going out of my way asking their age in chat, but that's what you do as a live streamer. You answer the chat. We could talk about TX2. TX2 is a big name artist in the pop punk / metalcore community who does live streams and he talks to his chat and there so happens to be minors in these chats. We know TX2 isn't a fucking pedophile. We know he's just responding to the chat just like as streamers do. Unfortunately, people take that so far out of context.
Literally only children listening to him? Hello?
Lastly, people try to claim that I'm a pedophile because I DM'd minors. Now, out of context, That sounds bad. I answer emails that I get from my fans. I answer messages that I get from my fans, right? And I've never had an issue with that. But I understand when I'm answering these emails and answering these messages I get from my fans that I have to set my own boundary, not try to ask them for, you know, personal information and stuff like that. That's the thing you do as a content creator. I'm not the only content creator responding to fans and, you know, answering fan messages I get. I literally have got tons of emails and DMs from fans, you know, asking me, hey, when's the next song gonna release? You know, hey, can we do a song collab together? And, you know, as a music artist, I want to showcase anyone who wants to make music, whether they're a good musician or whether they're a bad musician. And so I've collabed with some of my freaking subscribers that have been underage, but we kept it at that, just a simple collaboration. And a lot of people are taking this situation out of hand on TikTok and are like, whoa, Ten's a pedophile, Ten this, Ten that. I don't ask people for their addresses. I don't ask people questions about, you know, sexual questions towards them and stuff like that. I have seen people impersonating me online, people that I have never met, making up stories about me, and that's normally how it goes in this alternative subculture. Psych! You guys have all been played. Psych! You know what it is, right? So I'll explain. That's not really fucking nut. Look. It's a fucking... Hold on. I mixed it with, fucking Pillsbury cake. This is all fake! It's all fake! Real. Most of the videos I make are purely scripted, purely rage bait. I've been open and honest about that for 2 years. People are like, make authentic content that doesn't, you know, is not designed to grab people's attention, right? I've made a lot of content that isn't rage bait. The fact of the matter is, and I get it, the alternative community did have a big pedophile issue back in the day. It did have a big pedophile issue back in the day. But when you make false allegations against someone just because you want to ruin their life or ruin their career, it hurts actual victims. Actual victims get hurt, man. I've told these people that claim that they have evidence that I'm a pedophile to turn me into the police. These people know my real name, and I don't care if they know my real name because I posted my real name publicly. And it kind of just really hurts their cause, and it makes them look like they're just bullshitting. And I get it. I've posted a lot of shocking content online. That kids might have seen. I've also said multiple times that I am just playing a character online. Most of the videos I make are purely scripted, purely rage bait. But yeah, that's the final reason why I've decided to leave the alt community. I'll still listen to alternative music, but it's just this community has just become so damn toxic. It's just so damn hypocritical now, man. Until next time, this is TenTillDeath out. Peace.